Well, we have got some breaking news around the Entegra Cornerstone line and really Entegra diesel Class A motorhomes in general. And while we talk about that, we're going to look at this Entegra Cornerstone model. This is their top of the line diesel Class A motorhome with a bunk bed setup inside. So let's go take a look. Come on. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Myles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here today at Motorhome Specialist taking a look at this 2025 Entegra Coach Cornerstone 45R. So this is going to be Cornerstone's bunkhouse model with a bath and a half. So lots of space inside of here for additional guests and also having that bath and a half. And this is a top of the line 605 horsepower, 1,950 pound-feet of torque diesel motorhome that is going to have no problem traversing different terrain, going through mountainous terrain and going up steep hills, things like that. And you can see the price on it here. They have it listed at $644,989. Now we're going to be pretty quick to get inside on this motorhome because I know you guys really like to see the inside. But before we do that real quick, you will have been able to see the floor plan layout and the specs on the screen for the 45R. And then on top of that, we are here at Motorhome Specialist today in Alvarado, Texas. This is, as the name indicates, a motorhome specialist store. You can see there are motorhomes everywhere. I would need a drone to show you how big this entire property actually is. They have a whole designated space for Super Cs that's like back behind the fencing here. They have all their Class A motorhomes all through here, plus more in the back. I mean, there is so much to look at here, and the majority of the RVs are plugged in with power to take a look at as well, plus they are in the shade. And this is in Alvarado, Texas, just south of Fort Worth. So if you're looking for a motorhome, this is legitimately one of the best dealerships in America that you can come look for your next motorhome. Is it's literally going to have way more to look at than almost any RV show in America that you could go to, except for like the two majors, which are the Tampa RV show and the Hershey RV show. So, and I guess that Tampa RV show, it's called the Florida RV Super Show. Aside from those two RV shows, this dealership here is going to have the most amount of motorhomes you'll have to look at any dealership across America. So really cool there. Last thing before we go inside, there's a link down below in the comments and description where if you're looking for your next RV, you can find the inventory that's here available at Motorhome Specialist. Or this is a Blue Compass RV dealership as well. So this is within that network. Blue Compass has over 100 different stores in 33 different states. So we are all over the place and ready to help you out when you're ready. And you can find a location close to you with that link down below in the comments and description. One thing unique to Entegra is they have this curved around windshield here. So that is going to give you a much more immersive experience driving in your motorhome. And as soon as you hit the road, your vacation begins the way that you get to really feel immersed in the road or on the road with an Entegra coach. Now, as we step inside, this is on the Spartan K3 chassis. You have your handle right here with your code to get into the door. So whether you have friends that are visiting and you want to give them the door code, or you have a service tech that might be entering into your coach while you're not there, something like that, you can give this code to people to be able to enter in, and you have a doorbell there. You have your steps to open up, and because this is at the dealership, they have all this carpet in place where it would not normally be, just to keep things protected. But you have a little door there for some storage, LED lighting underneath here, and then right away you start to see some of the tile work in here, the nice lighting, and you see your grab handle right there that is going to be wrapped in leather, which is very nice. Now, as we step inside of here, we're going to get to talking about what is going on with Entegra in their diesel motorhomes in just a second, but let's take a look around real quick here. And I think with Entegra, what I really think about when I look at this brand is you're just seeing subtle elegance. So it doesn't feel overwhelmingly flashy when you walk inside of here, but it is very well built, and there's a lot of elements in here that just are really nice. Starting with the leather furniture, so really big oversized passenger and driver side seats. You can see they are heated and ventilated, and you have many different customizations for comfort with all these different controls down here for different elements of the motorhome. You have, or it's not the motorhome, of the passenger seat. You have the leg rest there. You have your headrest that will go up and down as well. And then as we turn back around on your front windshield, you have your TV up above this space, some storage space there. Then you have individual shades for the passenger and the driver, which makes sense because when you think about it, when you're going down the road, a lot of times the sun is just not hitting each person the same way. So you actually can get individual controls of your shades here as a passenger. So you have this day shade here that you can just drop down a little bit to block the sun out as the sun's coming down closer to the horizon. And then you have the night shades as well that will give you your privacy when you are at your campsite. Also really cool, they have two massive digital displays here in this front area. So let me just go ahead and show you what's going on up here real quick before we start working our way back. You have a whole 360-degree camera system on this motorhome. You can see I have controls of things like your shades on this panel here as well, which is how I got these shades down. But lots of different things that you can look at here. Your leveling system, lights, utilities, all that stuff is on there. Little locked box right there. And then you have another digital display here, which is going to give you all of your information driving down the road. This thing has a bunch of safety features like adaptive cruise control and things like that. So you're getting all of your higher end features. And again, on the Spartan chassis, Allison transmission here. And then you have a lot of different controls here, things like your gen start, your battery boost, your dome lights here in this area, and different control panels for things in this motorhome. Now, window opens up there so you can go through the drive-through. Get your McDonald's. No, obviously not. Don't do that in the motorhome like this. Remember how tall this thing is. But as we turn back around, let's talk about what's going on with Entegra. So this is a news story that came out around May 5th from what I saw. And basically what is happening is Entegra is no longer producing diesel motorhomes. Couple different reasons why this is. And let me get in front of the camera here while I talk to you about this. First of all, I think a big reason for this is just the fact that motorhome sales in general over the past few years have significantly declined. I mean, we've seen something over the past few years like a 50% drop in motorhome sales, which is something like going around the 16,000 mark for the amount of registered motorhomes that are, you know, accumulated every year, to somewhere around like 8,000. And then the diesel Class A segment of that is probably the most hard hit. My reasoning, and you guys please share your thoughts on why, you know, you may see or think this is going on from your perspective, but these things are expensive. I mean, this one here, $644, pretty dang expensive, and it's just, most people are priced out of the diesel motorhome segment, and really just motorhomes in general are really, really hard for the majority of people to get into. I even feel that myself, as I would love a motorhome, and I actually feel like I make a pretty dang good living doing what I do, and I don't have any kids, and still buying a motorhome is so far outside the realm of a possibility for me. It's like getting a motorhome would probably require about a 10-year plan for me to personally acquire a motorhome like this. And it'd be a 10-year, you know, rigorous investment plan and strategy to accumulate the amount of passive income that I would need to feel comfortable to buy something like this. So I think that's a big reason why. So what's happening with Entegra, Coach? Entegra is not going away, but what they are doing is all of their diesel brand motorhomes that they are making are going to actually switch over to Tiffin. Now, there's not a whole lot of information on exactly what this is going to look like. For instance, Entegra is actually a division that is under Jayco, essentially, which is all under the division of Thor, essentially. And Entegra still has all their different brands. They have their Cornerstone and their Anthem and their different diesel motorhomes, but all of those are going to go away, and they are going to now be under the Tiffin line. So we don't really know if that means they're going to still be listed as like an Entegra Cornerstone, or if it's going to be a Tiffin Cornerstone, or what exactly that is going to look like when this happens. But I do know that from what they are saying, it is going to happen going into 2026 as they are making 2027 models. Now, if you're a prior Entegra Coach owner, those warranties and everything like that will still be fulfilled by Entegra or Jayco. And then going forward, everything that is produced, basically they're going to take design elements and naming elements from Entegra and convert them into Tiffin products. So it'll kind of be pending to see how that works out. But essentially going into 2027 year models, we will no longer see Entegra diesel motorhomes. Now, I also feel like this has to do a little bit too maybe with the fact that like it's not really encouraged, or certainly not you know, not talked about favorably traveling in diesel vehicles in America, unfortunately. And I think that's something that probably also is having some impact on just the amount of, you know, maybe diesel lines that or just motorhome lines in general that a motorhome manufacturer wants to have in their repertoire of what they have to offer. I don't know if that's the case as well, but lots of different things to speculate. So curious your thoughts on these different aspects. Now, getting back to this floor plan layout, let's talk about as we go back through here, you have tile flooring here, and then you're going to have your theater seating. You can also get a trifold sofa here, but not really necessary, as most people I would think would want to go with the recliner seats, since you do have the bunk beds back towards the back here. 3 air conditioners in this motorhome, and then as we sit here, you do have a retractable TV, so we can turn right here. Interesting too, even just like a custom design on the walls there. As we lift this up, wow, that shoots up very fast. Nice and quick on the TV there. And that looks like that's going to be about a 50-inch screen TV that pops up. So that gives you a campside window when you want it, and then the TV when you don't need the window. Keep in mind, you also have the TV up here as well. It's just a little bit of a smaller TV. And then both of these recliners are power recline. So you can see how they will recline out like so, and they will lay down. And you have an adjustable headrest. So if you want to be able to have that nice comfortable headrest while you lay back and you're a little bit taller, you can see this one is currently in the down position, and you do get about maybe 6 inches of a lift there on the headrest. It doesn't lay down completely flat, but definitely gives you a little bit more comfortable of a sleeping surface there, or just a relaxing surface when it is reclined. Now your shades here, you're going to have a day and a night shade, and they will be powered shades, so you can control those on the touchscreen control panels throughout this coach. Nice looking storage up through here. Multiple different cabinet color options. Really like the gold handles on this white cabinetry that we are seeing. And then as we come back around to the dining area, both sides of your dining areas are going to pull out. So you can see how these pull out, and then they have a seat cushion right here that just rests in this area. That little black bar, or this little black part, can go on that bar there and give you a spot to sit. And then this can just collapse back down. Let's see, where's the latch? Right there. There we go. So those can both extend out manually, and then same with your table. Your table has a leaf that will extend out manually. Very easy to use. Goes just like so. So pretty simple there. And then this just drops back down and back into place. And then a couple things we can look at here on some of the specs. So you have that Allison 4000 6-speed transmission. It's on the K3 chassis. It has the Cummins 15-liter X15 turbocharged 605 horsepower engine that we talked about there. Has a 3-stage engine brake, or Jake brake, on this Entegra that is also very nice. So that's going to be when you're going down grades or down a hill. It's going to make sure that everything is braking properly with your engine brake, so you are not having to use the actual brakes on the motorhome. Let's see here. On the color options, you can see a bunch of different exterior color options that you have on Entegra. And keep in mind, again, this is going to be the last year that people really will be able to get an Entegra Cornerstone, which is pretty interesting. And then we looked at the floor plan already. Here it is. Let's just make sure we don't miss anything. So like your bunk beds are going to be 28 inches by 72 inches. You have a 72 by 80 king size bed. And then everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Shower is 30 inches by 40 inches, and then that is pretty much it. So let's keep working our way through. Let's take a look at the storage around this area. Kind of shallow here, but you have adjustable shelving in there. Also, some areas in here will be carpet lined. That's just going to make sure that whatever you put in that space isn't rattling while you're going down the road. That's really the biggest thing. Looks like that's your speaker right there, so nicely laid in, and can't even really tell that it's a speaker like that. And this floor plan is just wide open, so tons of floor space through here. Going to be nice, not only when you're out camping, but also just going down the road, giving you plenty of room through here to move around and maneuver in this motorhome. Adjustable shelving in there. You have some of your things right here, like a Blu-ray player, it looks like. So you have that there for your entertainment. And then your refrigerator and freezer, this is closed right now, but it is a GE refrigerator and freezer. It has a zip tie on it so it doesn't pop open, but it does have a lock on it, just like this one does right here as well, so these don't pop open while you're going down the road. And then it looks like, Can't tell if it has an ice maker in here. It looks like it should. Oh, never mind. The ice maker's in the door. Duh. So have the ice maker and water in the door, which is very nice, very convenient. Looks like we have 5 pull-out drawers in this area. Dovetail joints on all of these, so solid wood construction on those. Kind of interesting though, because when we go back around this way to the kitchen and start looking through this area, like we have this pull-out countertop space right here. And then some of your drawers here. These ones are not going to be that solid wood. They're actually a really thick plywood drawer. They're really nice though, really nicely finished, and they are using staples to hold those in place. Have this little cutting board thing here that you can take out and use in your coach. And then all 3 of those drawers will be the same. Going through this space, nice little spot here that will run down into the trash bin underneath there. Spot for some sponges and things like that. And then underneath this area, you have your trash can and big storage underneath that space. Absolutely love the color of the faucets and what you got going on here with your drinking water spout and your soap dispenser. Like the color on that a lot. And then you have this Blanco sink that is really big, and I really like that white color. It's kind of like a white speckled color. Storage space up through here, you can see it's all carpet lined. Again, that's just going to be for noise dampening. And then you have this little pull out additional little rack there. Some people have been noticing I have some new hardware on my finger. That is something that has changed in my life. If you're curious about what's going on there, I should have a video up any day now, if it's not already up, about getting married on my Firmly Unbound YouTube channel. There'll be a link down below in the comments and description where you can check that out. So feel free to go check that out if you would like. More storage down through here under, wow, gosh, that goes out for forever. My goodness. Furrion induction cooktop, solid surface countertops, of course. And then you have your dishwasher right there. Next to that, a little storage space here with some shelving. You have a wine cooler in this area. It has a little lock on it so you don't accidentally open that up, or so it doesn't accidentally fly open. It's a little wine cooler. In addition to that, with this being a more luxury style coach, of course you have to have a designated spot for some wine glasses, which you can put right there. Real tile backsplash right there. Nice circular design with that. And a nice lit up storage space here with kind of like a textured glass for the storage. And, oh nice, little like turntables that open up there. That's actually really cool, kind of a little clever design for that. Comes with this artwork that we're seeing here. Your ACs are whisper quiet, so you see these right here. Those are your returns for the air conditioner, so you're not going to really hear much of anything from your ACs. And then you can see how they are ducted through the ceiling. Your furnace is going to come out from the flooring area in areas like this, so you don't have any vents in the floor or anything of that nature. And of course, this is all real tile flooring in here. Plus, they have multiple different flooring options. If you want more of like a wood grain finish to your flooring, there are options for that as well. Here's your master control panel. There are a bunch of touchscreen control panels all throughout this coach, but everything also kind of resorts back to this space here. So you have all of your light controls, things like your generator controls, and all of your power sources in general. All of your lighting, your climate controls. So you can see the 3 different air conditioners. In here it has an aqua hot heating system and water heater. Your vent fan controls, slide out controls, and your shade controls all found in here. So that's going to be where all of your main control panels are. And then back through this hallway, we have 2 things going on here. We have bathroom and we have bunk beds. So as we open these doors up, this is where the bunk area will be. Still has its own like separation from the main bedroom, which is nice. So even if you leave these doors open but close that door, there's some separation between the spaces here. And you have your bunk space. So this bunk right here, the top one can go up and down. You have this little ladder to get up into the space. TV for this bunk area. And as we step down here, you have a clothing rod. So you can hang clothes here if you want to just use this as an additional closet. A lot of people will buy these models for that purpose. You can lift this up and have a permanent designated closet space there. Have another TV here as well. And these mattresses are definitely a little bit, they're not like terribly thick actually. They're a little bit thinner than I thought, but they don't seem too bad. Let's see what's underneath here. Oh, a little bit of extra hidden storage space under there. Nice. I wonder if the top bunk has that. No, just a gear system underneath this bunk. And bunks are rated for 300 pounds in this area. Then close this up. It kind of has like those washer dryer style doors here. That's easy for people to walk in here and think that's likely what's behind here, but it is actually bunk beds. And then we step into the bathroom. And as we step in here, you'll have that drop down latch there that will release the door, and this is going to be the full bathroom in this space. You do have a window here that will give you some natural light into this area if you want it. Solid surface countertops in here as well, and then you have a seamless bowl going into the sink there. Nice tile back, splashback behind here. This is liquefied. This is a black tank treatment you can find for your RV. They have it in this powder formula, liquid formula, and pod formula, and you can find that on Amazon for making sure your black tank stays healthy and everything drains out properly. Nice storage through this area. You have some wiring elements through there, and then we have a bigger vent fan in this bathroom. Again, the wall texture here just has that nice kind of just much more thought out design. Curious your thoughts on that too, because some people may want it more simple. I think that adds a pretty good character though, so curious your thoughts. And then you have a really nice toilet here. It's a Tecma toilet, and you can see here you have a water saver flush or just a normal flush with that. There's also a water macerator system on here, or just a macerator system for your black tank outside. Open up the shower. Beautiful colors here on the shower fixtures. You can see here you can put the shower head that's right here. It looks like it, oh, there we go. There's a wand right here that's in the bag, and the wand can sit right here. You can adjust that, and then you have the shower head as well. And you have this little thing right here that's going to let you know the water temperature, so you actually can have the water recirculate until the water gets hot so you don't waste any water. You have a bench right here and all nice tile finishes throughout this space. Shower is going to be very tall, especially with that skylight in here, so almost no one should have any issues with fitting inside the shower. But just for good measure, you can see here I'm standing at about 6'2", maybe 6'3", and you can literally be about 7 feet tall. Although this shower head right here, I would have to duck just a little bit to get underneath, or I can always sit down or use the wand as well. So that's what we're working with here. Good size in the shower as well. See a touchscreen panel right here, and then we have a little spot there for some items and some shelving underneath here, and some water line access under there. So go back this way. I'm gonna head back toward the bedroom. Also note you have a little spot right there to hang towels. Same door mechanism going to the bedroom. And right when we walk in, looks like we have some storage space right here. So some nice shelved out storage all along this area there. Looks like some access to HDMI ports on the TV in that space as well, on both sides. So I guess these are also areas where you can access those TVs back behind there. So that's pretty nice, giving you access to those. King size bed here in the bedroom, opposing slide outs in the bedroom as well. So you get really nice open space when you are out and set up at your campsite. Ceiling fan in the bedroom, and just a really nice look in here. I really like the color scheme. I know the dark woods were really not preferred for quite some time, but I don't know, and maybe it's just me getting older, but man, just that traditional darker wood color really just seems timeless to me and feels like it'll really never look bad. And it has to be done right. It can't be the wrong grain of like a dark wood tone, but I think this one here really does a good job. You have mirrors here on the inside of your doors here for what is some of your wardrobe storage space. See what you got going on in there. And then we have 2 drawers on each side and 2 more here in the middle. See, that's a little bit more shallow. You have another sound bar here that is a Bose sound bar. And then you have a window on this area, plus this will flip up. There's a little latch there to let that release, and you have a safe down underneath here, and you have a couple different TV connection points back behind there as well. And then as we turn back around, let's see if we got anything underneath the bed. Strut assisted there. Wow, it is actually strong enough struts to lift up that heavy, more premium mattress. Big storage underneath there as well, and access to your slide mechanism all through this space. Mattress is really, really thick. I mean, that is probably like a 12-inch mattress that you're getting there, so most people should not feel the need to upgrade their mattress. Oh, it is pretty dang plush as well. Oh yeah, it's a little bit on the softer side of a mattress, but I think most people will really like that. Outlets on both sides of the bed, you can see right there, and you'll have a little bit of cubby storage space on the sides of the bed. Comes with all the pillows and bedding. You have your lights underneath here, both individual reading lights and these lights up in the ceiling portion, ceiling fan controls, and a touchscreen control panel in the bed, so you can control different aspects, turn off your generator, things like that. Outlet in here, so if you did want to use like a CPAP machine and plug it in up there, you're able to do that. And then that is pretty much everything in this bed space. Again, it comes with the artwork that you see on the wall here. It comes with this mirror that you see as well. And then as we head back this way, you do have a step going up into the bathroom. Now, this being a diesel pusher, they have this little panel here because this does give you access to areas here in the engine, in this back portion of the motorhome. Half bath in this area, you have a toilet there, spot for your toilet paper, and you're going to have a window here with a vent fan up over the space. Again, a larger vent fan. Have a hook right here, right next to the door, and this is where washer and dryer will go. This door slides. So washer and dryer here in this area, and it is coming with the Splendide washer and dryer. Nice leather finishes here on the door, and then as we open this up and come into this space, you have that light that will turn on. You have a shelf up above here, and you have 2 clothing rods, lights in both of them, and then carpet flooring down underneath there. Good storage here in the bathroom area. Look at all this space that you'll have here, even though this is a smaller bathroom, I would say. It's obviously smaller than the other one, as the other one is the main bathroom. This one does feel like it has a bit more storage in it because of all these drawers here. So that is very nice. Same style sink design, and then you will have the medicine cabinets to open up here with mirrors on both sides. A little hook there as well next to the sink, and another control panel right there as well. So like I said, these things are all over the motorhome, and then you will have your sliding door here with a nice big mirror so you can see how you look before you step outside. And that is pretty much everything on this motorhome. Of course, there's a lot to talk about with motorhomes like these, so if there's something that I missed or something that you would like to know more about, or just something that you think is important to talk about, let me know down below in the comments, and then let's go ahead and talk about some stuff outside real quick before we wrap this up. So let's head down here, open up this door. Now there will be a platform right here that will extend out and cover this area for when you're going down the road. So you have a place to put your feet as a passenger. Absolutely massive Michelin tires on here with these Alcoa rims. These are 365/70 R22.5 tires from Michelin. With your slide out boxes here, you have frameless dual pane windows. On here you have little mini covers for those windows. You have a really intricate camera system which gives you a 360-degree view of your coach. Down underneath the slide out, you will have an LED light strip here so you can see things underneath your slide out, especially in darker conditions. You have this Camco portable refrigerator and freezer here that is going to also be able to be wheeled around, so that's very nice. You have your remote controls for your awning. It does have the Girard armless awnings. And then you have your 12 volt motor here, slide out, and an air line right there as well. So you have an air connection right through that port there, very easy to get to. You have power sliding trays here. Also, a couple things to note, it has this little drop down latch there, so if you have something heavy, it'll be easier to slide it in and out of the space. A little bit of space underneath here, you can slide some things under there for storage. And then you have the LED lighting in here, looks very nice. These cross beams here are going to absorb a lot of shock as you go up and down the road and make sure that that force isn't transferred up into the flooring of your coach, so that is going to just give it a smoother and gentler ride overall. Now your doors here, they're all powered essentially, so when you close these, they're slam latch doors, and then to open them, push it once to let it know you're here essentially, and push it twice to open it up. Of course, it does have a manual override as well. They went to that system because they basically feel that it looks classier than having the manual handles on the coach. So that is what you're looking at here. Down through this way, another sliding tray, and then in this area you have all your wiring components back behind this panel right here, basically using Velcro to hold this in place. But you can see the access to all your wiring components through here. You also can run cabling outside the coach while keeping the door closed right here. You have your inverter on and off switch right there, as your inverter is actually up underneath this area, which is really nice, so that Nothing can really get in the way of it because you do want that to have space to breathe. So really nice to have your big inverter up in that area. It does come with this Shark cordless vacuum, and you have some additional floor tiles there in case you ever need them, and a screen door for your entry door that you can put up once you get to your campsite if you want to have that screen door. Come along this way. This is going to be your freshwater fill area, so you can gravity fill your freshwater tank there. Also have these sensors here, so those are going to be sensors for the motorhome, so when you're going to change lanes or anything like that, that'll let you know if there's anything on the side of your motorhome. Passive tag axle here, so this is a steering tag axle. You can tell because you have basically like an innie and an outie style rim here, or wheel. So whenever you see that, that is going to indicate that you have a passive steering tag axle there, allowing you to make tighter turns in your motorhome. Dryer vent right here, and then everything back here just basically components for your engine. We can also open up the engine door here as well, so you can see some of your components there for the engine and the batteries, and then your engine door here is opening up, so we can see that Cummins diesel engine back behind here. Again, 605 horsepower, 1,950 pound-feet of torque, and we won't open it up all the way, but you can see down into this space what you're looking at in this area. And again, with this being a motorhome specialist store, that's another benefit to purchasing your motorhome here, is you're dealing with a team and a staff that only work on motorhomes. And a lot of other dealerships you may go to, a lot of times actually motorhomes are like their least focused on segment. So you're getting not only salespeople, but also like technicians and other people that might do your walkthrough with you in your RV that are not very well versed in these products because they just don't deal with them nearly as frequently. Versus a spot like this motorhome specialist store, you'll be working with not only salespeople, but also service staff, technicians, everyone throughout the whole process and throughout the whole ownership process of having your RV that specialize in motorhomes, which would definitely give me more peace of mind. Beautiful looking back end to this coach. You have air that can flow in through this side going to the engine area to help keep that cool as well. Then you have your mud flaps along the back that say Entegra Coach, and this coach can tow up to 20,000 pounds, so you can bring stacked trailers behind there if you want to bring your toys along with you, or bring cars along with you, or anything like that. This motorhome is definitely equipped to be able to haul quite a bit of weight. If I remember correct on the specs, the the diesel capacity is 175 gallons. You also have two different depth fill areas. This here is your radiator, so nice, easy to reach access point on that, and then just remember to hose that down every so often to keep that thing clean. This is going to be one of your depth fill areas right there. And then coming along to the water bay area, very clean and concise right here. So you have a reel here for your water hose, and then back behind this panel you can see all of your different components in this water system that you don't really see unless you take this panel off, such as your macerator system, your valves back there, because these do have electric valve releases, as you can see with your black tank and gray tank valves there. They are electric, so all of those components are back behind this little door here that is very easy to get to. And it already comes with some nice things that most people have to purchase for their RV, like these 90-degree elbows for the water line, things like that. And here's your controls for the power cord reel, and you have your water filtration system plus your outdoor water connections there. It should have another spray port towards the front of the coach too, so you can also hose down your windshield and front end. As you can imagine, there's going to be quite a few bugs and things like that that it will pick up over the duration of a long drive across the country, especially if you drive through the south in the summertime. It is something that you will likely experience. Have some storage there for a sewer hose connection. And coming back along this way, let's get that door closed right. You have your AquaHot 600D system, so a huge hydronic heating system that also can use the diesel for not only your furnace, but also your tankless water heater there. You have your transfer switch up underneath here, and you have your 50 amp power cord reel there. And like I said, here at Motorhome Specialist, really nice how they have all these motorhomes hooked up to power and in the shade. It's one of the best dealerships for me to come work at, because they just make it so easy to be able to comfortably film these RVs and these motorhomes, which will also mean that when you come to view them, it'll be a much more comfortable experience. There's your propylene glycol for the AquaHot right here. And then again, slide out trays are accessible from both sides. And then last thing to look at is you also have a Starlink system on this motorhome. So here's your Starlink equipment, and the satellite is up on the roof. So it does come equipped with Starlink. You have prep to add a water softener, so if you did want to add that, you can add that in right there. And then this panel will just go over this door here to block all that off. And then that is pretty much it. You have a generator up front. I can show you that real quick before we get out of here. Auto leveling system right here, and then you can extend out your generator right here with this button. So let's see here if it's, it didn't start coming out. Oh man. I don't know if I have to do something to get that to come out for sure, but nonetheless, you have your generator up front that is going to be in this area right here that will run the entire coach as well. And then you have a lot of your safety controls up front here. You have your camera system up on top there, and you have these sensors here. It has automatic windshield wipers if you want to trigger on that setting, and it does have adaptive cruise control as well. Powered mirrors, basically everything you could ask for in terms of like safety standards for a motorhome. And that is pretty much it, y'all. So very curious your thoughts. Let me know what you think, especially on that news of Entegra basically taking all of their diesel motorhomes and converting them to tip-ins. I'm curious what y'all think about that, but that's all I got for y'all. So appreciate you watching, and if you're looking for your next RV, there's a link down below in the comments and description to help you get started. And until next time, live firmly unbound.